What's going on, everybody? Anthony here, Six Scale Mafia, Tales of the Dark Side, episode 63. Saturday night. What is going on, everybody? We got a big panel tonight of amazing content creators here. Mario, what's good, my man?
Oh, man, just chilling, man. Just enjoying my lovely rainy Saturday here in beautiful Southern California. Bro, so I took out this Mark 6 and I noticed something, man, on the box. Bro, look at this. Look at that little ding. There's a little ding right here on the box. I'm like, come on, man. Really?
Boycott Hot Toys.
Yo, straight. I'm telling you, man. Boycott Hot Toys. Boycott Sideshow. That's some bullshit.
That's just, listen, packaging is important, baby.
Right?
It is. But otherwise, man, rainy day, having a good day, man.
Yeah, it's nice. Nice and lovely, man. Just relax.
All right. Awesome, man. Of course, as always, brother Cousins, my dude. What's up, man?
I'm trying to go through the computer and steal.
Nah, you'll see it. You'll see it Tuesday evening, right on the shelf-worthy show on the channel. Yes. Mario will be busting out that Mark 6.
I love that figure. Oh my god, under that soul. Why the hell? Anyway, I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good. It's been it was a crazy morning. I had to rescue my mom. She was stuck in traffic with a broke down vehicle, but she called me.
No.
I don't know why she didn't call her insurance company, but she called me and came
because the insurance money.
Triple J.
Jay don't need no deductible.
That's right.
There
you go.
Yo, she's got you for life, bro.
Exactly. So yeah, I missed half show Saturday. Sorry I couldn't be there today, guys. Lou and Miles held it down, so they had it. They did an excellent job with that. But I'm here tonight and I'm ready. It's gonna be a fun night.
Hell yeah. And Leo, my man, what's up again, dude? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. Glad to be here. Thank you. It's been a pretty productive day myself. Had some studio work to kind of, get everything prepped and ready for next month. So definitely excited about that. Shout out to my boy, my bro, my partner in crime, Derek. Derek Houston. He's a part owner of the it's actually the Green Room Studios that we've basically established. Like we've been killing it over there for a minute. And yeah, him, my cousin Arlo showed up today. We had a really good day. Then after that, and also shout out to Mario's brother Jesse, kills it. I can't wait y'all to hear it. He's just a silent assassin, man.
I want to hear it too, man.
Extremely humble, but damn, like straight up, like he's magical. Like he's straight up magical. Like you only meet like so many people in life who really understand the concept of hip hop and the sound. You know what I mean? Like just the actual sound. They give you that quality that you want, and he's killing it. So definitely shout out to Jesse. But yeah, man, it was a good day. After that, me and Toya went to the gym. So we had a good time at the gym. Like, she's trying to, I'm trying to get her, she's already athletically built. I don't even know why she's doing this, but she's just trying to tighten up. Like, that's what she says she's doing. I'm like, you're already tightened. Like, what are you doing? Anyway, we did that. We got something to eat, came home, and you know what I mean? Now I'm here. We go.
And now we're here. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, dude. Sounds like you guys have been having a good weekend.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
How about you, Aries? What's up, man? It's been a while. How you doing?
I'm great, brother. Great day today. Looking forward to a great weekend. Off on Monday, holiday. So I plan on just taking the next couple of days and catching up on some channel stuff, some stuff around the house. Been so busy with so many family things and so many crazy things the last few weeks. So it'll be good to just kind of get with the collection room a little bit, maybe pop open a couple of hot toys finally. They're just sitting in the brown shipping boxes, maybe record a couple videos and just have some coffee and sit out, man. But I'm great. It's always good to be here.
Hell yeah. No, it's good. I know timing and, this thing with all of us, man, trying to get everybody together is just, it's rough sometimes, man. So it's awesome when everything comes together, man. So it's good to have you here. That's the great thing too, right? Like when you have some of that kind of downtime too, like you're saying, it's just like, you know what? I got some things I can do. I can open some boxes. I can rearrange some things. I could work on the collection a little bit, which is actually what we're going to be talking about a lot tonight, guys. So everybody in the chat, dude, what is going on, man? I saw everybody in here saying what's up, saying hi to everybody. Appreciate everybody coming in tonight. We got some cool stuff to talk about. It's gonna be fun. We are gonna talk about though the Avatar, because why not? And we don't have to get into great details, but I didn't really get a much chance to talk about him myself, so apologies guys if this has been talked to death, but I find it pretty cool that, well, I'm gonna preface it right away, I'm not buying these, but I think it's cool that we're getting something different, you know. Again.
Yeah.
I mean, I know this, that we had a Jake Sully before and everything, but pretty cool. Let me just bounce it around, man. I mean, Wario, see, this is a tough one, right? Because on one hand, I would say the joints are kind of but I think Hot Toys still nailed these. But what are your thoughts on this?
No, that's the thing, man. Sometimes you gotta, sacrifice articulation, for the realism, the product. So in this case, we kind of see why they did that, considering there's a mount, that they're showing off, and whether or not we actually get that mount,
right?
Only time will tell. Look, I haven't seen this movie yet, and I haven't seen the first one in a long time. It was good. I really liked it. But for some reason, these things aren't, in my opinion, they're not really translating that well in figure form. I think, to me, the proportions look a little bit off, but the paintwork is insane. It looks really, really good. It just looks kind of like, I understand their new bodies and everything, right? It's just like I said, proportionally, they just kind of looks a little bit off. But again, like you mentioned too, it's great to see something different, other than the big three,
right.
So a couple more one-offs, which is great. But this isn't really something that I'm necessarily interested in. But I still need to go out and see this damn movie, man. I'm hearing some pretty good things about it. So need to contribute to that 2 billion club, so
right.
Yeah, let's get them up. Let's get them up, man. These Banshees though, man, they look, I think Jake Sully looks way too big for the one that he's actually on. That thing looks small, dude. The body looks like up, like large and wide, and the legs look, not long enough. So that's just what I see. That's just what I see. I mean, but other than that,
I don't know because I didn't see the movie, so I don't know the scale of these creatures in comparison. Right? For all I know, that's the right size of these things.
Possibly, but then again, I'm only basing it on from what I remember from the first movie, which again I haven't seen in a minute, but they were, from what I remember, they were fairly large. So it just looks a little bit weird for these guys.
Yeah, they are a little different. I'm gonna bounce around, man. Aries, what do you think about this? Did you get to see this yet, or?
Like Mario, I haven't. I love the first movie. Haven't seen it in a long time. I did watch it, a few times, a handful of times, but not recently. I haven't. It's on my list to, go see this in the theaters. And like you, Mary, I'm happy to see Hot Toys, expanding out, and I was, and diversifying with this. So, and I think that they look pretty damn good. Honestly, I'm not going to get them either, but I just stick with Star Wars pretty much right now, no matter what it is. But one of the things that really makes me excited is, I think this goes along with something that I really believe Hot Toys is going to be doing. More announcements and lower production numbers. And I've been watching it, Anthony, unfold for months. And I know you've been watching about it. We've talked about it. And, and I saw another one with the Matrix from the Matrix movie, with Neo. And I'm like, I don't think they're really going to make a whole lot of him. And with some of these other characters, from even some of the other IPs. And when I saw this, I'm like, this is good, because I want to see this. I want to see more collectability. Like, I don't think these are going to be very, very big sellers, but I don't necessarily think that they need to be. I think that they're going to put out a certain amount. They'll have some great collectability to them, and they could see where it goes from there. But I don't think that they necessarily are moving forward where they just have to have a certain production number or they're not going to touch it. Because certainly they had to have known when you're touching this, you're touching the the Neo from the Matrix movie. It's not going to be Spider-Man. It's not going to move like a Spider-Man. So I'm just excited about that. Yeah. So I mean, for me, makes me really excited about Hot Toys. And I think if you're into Avatar, this has got to be really exciting for that collector to be able to get a movie like this at its magnitude, to get something out with it. But kudos to Hot Toys that they're doing Avatar.
Yeah. No, I think that's exactly what I was thinking too. It's like there's, I've heard mixed reactions on the figures, and I know that some people were saying, oh, it's Avatar, it's like these are just not gonna sell, and I'm like, yeah, nah, I mean, Avatar's still pretty big. I mean, there's people out there that are excited for these, so I don't know. What do you think, Leo?
Well, I definitely saw the movie and I loved it. It was amazing. They've definitely stepped it up from the first film. Of course, to me and Toya went to go see it. She's a huge
that's what we're saying.
Avatar
she loves this, right?
fan. She loves it. She loves Avatar. So of course, I would have to get these figures for her. You know what I mean? I have to definitely get them for her because I know that she has like a love for it. Material looks good. I like the way material. Now here's the thing. Jointed, of course, we know that. I guess it's a bit confusing to me because I know what they're able to pull off, like what we see with, like, for instance, She-Hulk, where you can actually have somewhat of a seamless type of entry. The whole body's not seamless, I already know that, but
right,
it looks, damn near good, where the joints are hidden, not, so sightly. This, I think that because of just full body potential and what you have to do, and again, it does require a lot of movement. We understand that the joints are required. You know what I mean? I definitely understand that, especially if you're putting them on the Banshee. The Banshees actually weren't that big on film. You know what I mean? They weren't as big as you think they were, because again, they're not as big as I forget the other ones.
But they're on the first one, or
in the first one, they're not as big. So these, are a totally different iteration. They're more so like it's a totally different iteration. It's not the same. Beautiful creatures, but not as big. So they didn't really carry much volume. So I can understand why they went this length, and it is sort of accurate. But again, the thing is, I think, because I looked at it a while. First thing I was like, whatever. But I looked at it and I was like, it is a beautiful piece. Like it's beautiful as far as aesthetically, how the visual, the head sculpts they nailed. I think they've done a good job with those. And again, I'm not getting it from me. I'm getting it for Toya because I know she has a love for it. I love this exclusive diorama. That is beautiful, man. If it lights up like that, that's incredible.
Oh yeah, the base.
Yeah, it actually
powered
does.
by USB. Yeah, that
powered,
is exactly.
Yeah, because these are the deluxe. Yeah,
it's definitely a beautiful piece to have. So I know she's going to be happy and to have a piece of something that she loves. So I want to give her that same feeling that we get. When we collect figures that we have a connection to. I'm pretty sure she'll feel the same way. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, dude. Absolutely. Yeah, I was thinking these two. I mean, these do look pretty good. I mean, but again, these are the deluxe right there. So they had the standard one and then the deluxe for both. What do you think on this, Jay? You think this is pretty cool too, or?
I sent you a picture. I don't know if you can pull it up, but I sent you a picture on in the Facebook group.
I see it. I'll try to pull it up here in a second.
Yeah, and the reason why I bring that up, I went to Disney in 2018, and I went to Pandora in Animal Kingdom, and I'll be honest with you, it was a while. It was a while, since I had seen the first Avatar movie. So when I went there, I was like, okay, it's Avatar, whatever. But I was completely blown away by what they did at Disney with the mechs, with the rides, just the landscape and everything, and like everything that they, to make it look like Pandora. They did an excellent job with that. And they had, at the end of your tour, in the shops, they had a bust of 𝗦𝗘𝗧𝗘𝗢𝗠. And I'm staring at that, and I have a picture where I'm staring at that bust.
Like,
there it is right there. I'm staring at that bust. I had to be there like 10 minutes. And I got to say, it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Wow. It really was. It was stunning. I mean, it was just a complete work of art. If I had the money and I could take it home, I would have took it home, honestly.
It was for sale?
It was for sale. Yes, I believe it was.
Wow.
I forget how much they wanted for it, but I mean, you had to have.
That looks amazing.
$1,200 piece, at least, right? Or
that is. I would say at Disney, probably. I would say probably 4.
Yeah.
I see you look at this piece. Yeah, I was wondering how much something like this went for. $130,000. Get the fuck out of here! No, I cannot. It's serious because it's very important piece.
I fucking love it. That's perfect. Exactly.
Oh, yeah,
Balky,
exactly, bro. So, I say all that to say, like, when I look at these figures, and going back to this store, I know I'm long with it. I'll get to my point, but
no, continue. Yeah,
going in that store, what I noticed, they had a bunch of little figures for collect. They had stuff for kids, because once you go through the rides, even if you're not a big Avatar, and look, I was going in there like, oh, Avatar, who cares about the blue cats anymore? But when I went there, I was totally drinking the Kool-Aid. That's the Disney magic, Mario knows, you know that Disney magic.
Dude, I said the same thing about the sequel, the sequel trilogy, man. Like, I don't care about the sequel trilogy, but I get on Rise of the Resistance. Oh, I'm like, oh shit, that was dope.
Exactly. So they didn't have anything for the high, for collectors, serious collectors. So going back to these figures, this is probably what I can easily see having a couple of run of these, or even having this display, in that Pandora shop at the end when you come out and your highball of collectors are going to go in there, especially from people all over the world will see this and then scoop them up. So I think this is a good thing to have in their stores, and I think this is good for collectors. It's good for the people. My thing is, you have to be really into it. Now, me looking at the figures, I don't have that same passion when I see the figures that I have for that piece. I'm like, oh, maybe because they're smaller, maybe because of the joints. I don't know, but right now I love it, and that head sculpt is good. I just don't have room for it in my collection at this point. But who knows? A year and a half from now, this may be the thing that people be like, you know what? Damn, in person, these are amazing, and I wasn't expecting to get this, but I have it, But I do think you have to. I would suggest being all in on it and get that diorama, because I think with the dioramas, it really comes to life. Because Pandora is such a big, it's a big part of the story. So you want to tell that story. And if you get these, anytime, like I said, you get beasts or dragons. I don't know if they're gonna produce, mass produce these. But this would be a piece that would just take everybody's breath away. Anybody that has that in the collections with them on them, is just going to be like, it's going to be breathtaking. And it's
I think they're going to come out with them.
You think so?
I think so.
I'm curious to see if they will. I mean, I hope that if they do bring them out, I hope that they actually sell, because I mean, I want a Tauntaun, so I want all the damn beasts to sell.
Yeah, right? I mean,
yep.
I think these are real. They showed them off.
Yep.
Like, other than photos, they are real. They're on display.
Yeah.
So that means they designed them. They made molds and casted these. I just don't see why they wouldn't. We just got a blurg for Star Wars. I mean, creatures are cool, man, and this is something that's more manageable than something like, I don't know, like an N1 that's not coming out. So something like this. I don't know. We'll see about that. We'll see. Let me address a couple of super chats here, though, real quick, guys, before we get into it. But I will note that Magical, I have Mandalorian Huntress comes on from time to time, and she should be on soon. So I would stay tuned for that. But absolutely, we need more females out there, 100%. But let me see, because I know I missed, there are some chats here. If you guys bear with me. OG Mando, my dude, thank you so much, man. He says Hot Toys really made these for overseas. That's where they make all the money. It's a smart move, I think, for Hot Toys. Well, thanks, my man. Okay. And that's true. Avatar's pretty big over there. It is.
It's huge. That I mean, that's where I believe it's literally going to put this over the $2 billion mark. Like, literally.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because definitely they're on the right. I forgot where they are projected right now, but I think they're going to hit that $2 billion mark soon. I really do.
I think they're about there.
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah.
Well, you have to factor that in as always, guys. Like, there's a huge China market, even the MCU movies.
Oh yeah.
Right, they factor that all in, and it's like huge. But Avatar is really big over there, so you're right. That's gonna pour in a lot, and people are gonna buy these. And I get the joint issues, but I don't really know how they could have done them different with these bodies.
If they did them seamless, it'd probably been cracking and people complaining. So I mean, I guess
there's no other way that you could have actually done it, to be quite honest.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
The simple fact that you want that level of articulation on the Banshees, you want them to last longer, and especially for the paint apps on a seamless body, you don't want to have like blemishes or issues. There's a lot that goes into it, and I think for this, there can be an excuse made. Like, it could be one of those.
They would all be painted up too, like the tats, So it's like,
I still think. Here's the thing, bro. Like, it's crazy because I think photos really, when we talk about it, as good as photos can be, sometimes photos, no matter how good they are, really don't do a figure justice until you get it in hand.
Oh, 100%.
Really basically see the paint apps. Where you can really basically see how the figure looks. Sometimes, again, presence, posing, everything means a lot. So once you get it in hand, you may see this thing totally different. Height advantage. Exactly. And of course, they're going to give it the right height. They're going to go all out on this thing, man. And I think again, once you get it in hand, you can tell a totally different story that works for you. And again, that's why I think it's a beautiful looking piece. I'm going to definitely get it for Toya because I know she's wanted this. This is something that she's really interested in, so I wanted to have it. But yeah, I'm excited for her because I can't wait to see her face. When I showed her the picture that night, she was half there in her sleep. She looked at it, she tried to get excited, but she just went back to sleep.
Hell yeah. Hell
yeah. So, but definitely, I wanna get it for her, and I think it. Listen, bro, like, I have no qualms about this because we knew it was gonna actually happen. So I think it's pretty dope, man. I can't, and like Mario said, I want them to put these creatures out because if they sell, then it opens the door for everything else. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So let's go.
Oh, hell
well,
yeah.
look at those. I mean, I think the fact that they didn't even try and go with the seamless arms and the seamless body, and are making it so highly articulate, is evidence that they absolutely have the plan to put out those beasts. So I think that they're going to come just for that reason.
I think so.
I'm curious to know too, because we've also got 4 more movies coming up pretty soon, right after this, don't we? After the rest of them are in production.
Oh yeah.
So that's another thing to consider. Perhaps
it's
they
big.
can.
It's a big. Yeah.
Yeah. But perhaps they can do seamless bodies for the next movies or so. They may not involve the Banshee, but that's a good point, Ant. I mean, to have the joints there just for to articulate along with the Banshees. That's
for now. I mean, I think he filmed 2 and 3, right? Like, already. So
I think so.
I think 3's next year. Something like that, right? He wants to get them out. He doesn't want to wait.
Supposedly they're supposed to be like a year apart. The same way that they did what was it, Lord of the Rings?
Mm-hmm.
They also did like that. So
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll see if he actually pulls that off.
We'll see.
That's good.
We will see.
If that's the case, then it was definitely worth the wait.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I do have a $5 sticker, I think, from Magical. So thank you so much for that. Unless there was a chat that I didn't see on there, but I do appreciate that. And we do have another super chat from Jason, my man. Thank you so much. He says, "Isn't Avatar just dances with wolves in space?" Maybe the first one. I could see that.
Star Wars just cowboys in space. So
yeah, hey, look, everything in life's kind of a remix anyway. I mean, to a point, but I haven't got to see the second yet, so I don't know if there's much.
Nah, bro, the second one's dope. The thing is, it's like, I mean, because I
heard it was excellent.
No foul against the comment, because like I said, I mean, I see how people would see that. But
yeah, like Ferngully.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but when I look at it, it's a different interpretation, and I think it's an art form. Second film is so dope. Like it is. It's so dope because again, for those of us who are, fathers, mothers, and have families, it definitely tells a totally different story. And again, it just deals with like there's a lot of heartache to be had in this film. But I think they did. And I'm gonna tell you right now, 𝗕𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘 is a beast. If you thought she was unleashed in the first film, this one, she is unleashed. I
love her character, man. Zoe
Beast.
Saldana
All right,
kills it with the character.
Yeah.
Listen, I want to ask you guys with the 𝗕𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗠 or both, with the collector edition, without that awesome base.
Yeah.
What do you think of the price? $335 for 𝗕𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗠, for instance. I don't have a problem with it, with the amount of art.
Yeah.
And detail that is put into this
accessories,
thing,
everything.
honest.
Yeah.
They're tall too.
And they are. It's like they're taller than. How tall are they? They have it.
They're tall. Like if they're going off a movie,
17 inches, right?
They're tall.
Yeah, that's something. I thought I heard 16, 17 inches. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the 𝗕𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗠 here is 17.7 inches tall.
Wow.
So I really don't got no problem with. In a way, isn't that it's almost like a freaking quarter scale? Maybe I'm crazy.
It's close. Yeah, it's close. It
Yeah,
really is.
Making you want to pick this up now. Looking at her, she looks. I think in this photo, she actually looks pretty damn good.
She definitely
has that big figure.
Like how you can pose them and everything. If you angle them right, kind of just like a lot of the other jointed figures or the Storm Collectible, Mortal Kombat, things of that. If you pose them right, like right there, it's not bad. You can't really see it.
When I first saw these, we looked at them on Best of the Best the other night. My knee-jerk reaction was like, "Ugh, they're like big NECA figures." But over a period of time, after a couple of days really looking at them, I was like, it started making sense to me. Like, okay, I guess they couldn't do seamless joints. Seamless joints can be a pain in the ass at times. They want to get these out. Okay, I get it. I totally get it. I still kind of just don't like the design of Jake Scully. I just don't right now. 𝗕𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘 is hands down a winner. I don't know. Maybe because my love for the character, I do like the character. I like her more, but I just think she's executed better.
I didn't get to see the movie, Jay. For me, I would assume it's close. I didn't see that. This is based off the new movie, right? Not the old one.
Yes.
Yeah. But the thing is too is they also just brand it Avatar, which is interesting.
Oh, really?
It's not specific to the film. Yeah,
it's not.
The water.
It's definitely accurate, sort of, to the film. There is, with him, there is a slight difference in the film. But then you end up seeing this version, you know what I mean? So then it makes more sense. This it gives me hope because if they can pull, stuff like this off, just imagine, everything else that we could actually get or will get, everything else that they might actually have filtered down the pipeline. If they're tackling this IP and willing to give it enough attention, then there's and I'm just happy that a company like Hot Toys is willing to do stuff like this. You know what I mean? Exactly. Come around and, give us pieces, and I think, again, it's like, we talk about design, Jay, and that's how I was. I was right there with you, bro. I was like, damn, come on, they could have did better. But as I looked at it over a couple of days, and then I started seeing other photos, I was like, okay, it makes sense. And then I'm just imagining what I would see once I got it in hand. In hand is going to tell me exactly where it goes. Or how it's going to look, if it's going to actually get the seal of approval for me. But I'm just, I know Toya is going to be over the moon. So that is when I see her smile about it, I'm like, okay, I succeeded. So definitely.
Yeah. That's all that matters at the end of the day, right?
Is there some accuracy here to what Daryl's saying though, Dale or Lael? Because I haven't seen this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What Daryl was saying is actually true, but a lot of it also was because his hair wasn't wrapped up during the first half. I don't want to really give too much of the movie away, but his dreads were more exposed because he didn't have it wrapped up or tied up in a ponytail. So you can see it.
See, this was the first.
More. Yeah,
this was the first one.
That's the first one. So if you look at that one versus the one we actually have now, and I think that this one that we got now is a more accurate head sculpt than this one, to be quite honest, when I'm looking at it.
It looks improved for sure.
It definitely looks improved. It definitely looks improved. But yeah, in this one you can tell, like if you look at his hair here versus what you'll end up seeing, you know what I mean? It is totally different. His hair was a bit more, and they even added a bit more, but he did have it tied up for a bit as well. But yeah, it's gonna be dope, man. I think it's gonna be definitely dope.
We've got exposed joints in this one too, right? For the first release.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it makes sense. You know, these guys are big. The way their bodies are styled, I can see him having problems.
This one proportionally, the upper body doesn't look as big as the newer one, so that's why I guess that's what's kind of like throwing me off about the newer one. Like this one looks more in proportion. You know, exactly.
Well, this is old too. I think this was like 2009.
Yeah.
But it looks more in proportion is what I'm saying. Unless he's like, got shredded in the second one and he's all built up in the upper body. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. But I know he came out even then at 315.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that was a lot of money.
Back then, yes.
Back then, yeah.
So not too bad. 2009 with this only 335 for collector's edition.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'm looking at it.
That's a good point, Aries. That's a really good point.
Yeah. Because again, guys, they're big. They are big. They're not 11, 12 inches. So I don't think it's that bad. Guys. So, but we can, I don't know if, like I said, it's probably not something I'm going to grab, but I appreciate it. And I like seeing new stuff all the time. Yeah. Because that's what it's all about, us being collectors. So anyway, guys, 145 in the chat, man. Go ahead and don't forget to hit that like button and give us a subscribe, man, if you're new here. And everybody here is right here. View more and go subscribe to everybody here if you have not. Guys, we're gonna talk about some stuff, and this actually kind of, I guess this kind of works in the same fashion, because I wanted to talk about this, man. Me and Mario were talking last night about some things, and this is things that we always, I think about in our heads sometimes, but I wonder, as far as in terms of collecting, do you, how do I say this? Because anybody can buy anything, right? Like, we go through the routine of whether it's Hot Toys or just, 6-scale figures in general. Something pops up for, new announcement. We get excited. Maybe we pre-order. The point is, we can always grab as much as we want, and we can amass a large collection, finance permitted or whatever space. But at the end of the day, though, like, once you hit I don't know if there's like a peak, but like, bro, when you hit that 100 mark or that 200 mark, I don't know if it's too late, but you kind of, at least I do anyway, I think about that. So it's like, do you prefer quantity, just a mass, doesn't matter what the hell it is, if you like it, you're like, oh cool, get it, not necessarily on the same level as something else, but, or do you prefer trying to really curate your collection? I want to bounce around on this one, man. I'm gonna start with you, Leo, because you too have a lot of figures, and we mentioned before that you kind of often have a vision of where you're trying to go with that. So do you feel it's more about curation for you, or do you like it, you grab it no matter what, how it feels for you?
It's definitely curation for me, but it just, the thing is, bro, and me and Mario say this all the time, because I think we struggle with the same thing. With Marvel, we can kind of curate. We can say, okay, I want, I'm selective about what I'm going to get in that category, because I'm not going to grab everything. So I'll grab this. It's to look well with this. This will work with this, and I'm good. Star Wars is totally different, because that's a part of our life. You feel me? And it's things that, me, Mario, Aries, we can equate to this. Like, we've been collecting these figures even before 6-scale. You know what I mean? Like, we've been collecting these things for the longest time since we were young. We know the figures that we've always wanted to see. We know the figures that we actually just to flip over the actual cardboard cut, like the cardboard presentation. You see all the figures on you. It's like, okay, I want this, I want that.
The checklist, man.
And the checklist was always dope. You go to the store, you look at that checklist, and sometimes you'll find out that you weren't the only one that wanted it, because when you go to find it, it's sold out. So just to imagine the simple fact that now we can have that bit of nostalgia in six-figure form, and we actually have a chance to get it. It says a lot. There's a lot to go off of, and sometimes having that level of restraint for Star Wars is hard, bro. It is. It really hard. It's because the thing is, you want so much. I try to exercise that level of restraint when it comes to clones. I really, really, really do. Even though it is hard, because even like those clone, the clone pilots, I wanted them from the word go, because that look is incredible. And I was like, yeah, I can't pass on that. I wanted to get like two of the shinies. I had to get to the regular ones. I was like, I have to have them. But the problem is, it's like when Star Wars, there'll never be a space where I'll say no, because they're putting out way too much heat for me. That's the problem. But when it comes to Marvel, I can say, okay, yeah, I can limit that, because I know where I'm at and what I want to collect and what works for me. I wish they would give us more DC. But for the level that we're getting in DC, I completely understand. And I think that once they get their act together, we're going to see more. But yeah, for the most part, I have a vision for what I want. Everything works off of a vision. That's why certain things I will necessarily pass on. The DeLorean doesn't work for me. You know, Doc Brown and Marty does not work for me. You know what I mean? Because I don't collect those particular figures. Lord of the Rings doesn't work for me because I'm not in that lane. I love the films, but it's not something that I feel as though I have to have in my collection. But when it comes to Star Wars, man, like literally, I think that both me, Aries, and Mario, we sometimes need intervention because there's so much shit out there.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Because I'm like,
that's what I hear, man.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, when like Mafia, if you've exercised a level of restraint that is unseen when it comes to Star Wars, because you can say, all right, I just want
not easy
OT. I just want OT. Yeah. I'm getting rid of all my prequels. I'm getting rid of all the sequels, and I'm going to stick here, bro. And that's not saying, because I know you love Star Wars. You love Trek more, but I know you love Star Wars,
Thanks.
Right?
Yeah.
Bro, when I say Star Wars is my life, Star Wars is my life, because all you're seeing is what's here. You're not seeing what's on the walls. You're not seeing what's in my room. You're not seeing what's in, you're not seeing all that. You're not seeing what's in the interior in the car. You're not seeing any of that. It's basically Star Wars is my life. It always has been, bro. So I can't exercise. It's hard for me to really exercise a level
like
of
that restraint
when it comes to that, bro, because they're always releasing something that is dope. And from what I know and what I've been told, when it comes to the 20th anniversary of Clone Wars, bro. Oh my God.
I feel for you guys, man.
Oh my God, bro. Like straight up. I might have to, well, I gotta protect my collection. I might have to rob Brother Cousins and start selling off some of his stuff.
Listen,
I'm not gonna do it. He can be like, oh no.
We're actually gonna talk about this, man, but re-reviews, man. You know, we are gonna talk about that a little bit later, man. So, dude, good points. The sad part about me being done with my collection is that I would probably also be out of the community. Right. And that is a thing that we're actually going to talk about a little bit later. But to Lael's point, well, I'm going to take it over to Aries after this. But so I started, I'll just briefly chime in on this because, as you guys know, as Lael mentioned, I sold my prequels, I sold the clones, I sold the Rogue Ones. All I have is the original trilogy. And I know it hurts. I know, Mario, it hurts. But here's the thing. So, like, what I'm going to do this time around is I'm going to pick up like the Anakin Clone Wars without the step. I don't need it. You know, again, I don't need it. You don't need it. If you don't need it, you don't need it. It's fine, right? For my vision, I don't need it. So I'm going to get to him and the Clone Wars Obi-Wan, and then that's a representation that I need for that, right? And then Anakin and Padme, I'll pick those up. That's the rest. You know what I'm saying? So that way I'm not because OT was like how I feel with you, Lil. Like that was it for me. So must have all, right? So when 40th Return of the Jedi hits this year, I'm getting all of it. It doesn't matter. I'll figure it out over time, but those are like no. But I feel comfortable in my collection, in my routine to be like, okay, those are guaranteed, right? I didn't feel that comfortable saying that to all of Star Wars. I just couldn't do it. So but before I get to Aries though, I do have Hoth's Hometown Hero, my dude. Thanks so much, dude, for that $10 super chat. He says, I look at it like, what figures do I need to build the scenes I'm trying to accomplish? Then I have my favorite characters. If they don't make the specific ones I'm looking for, I will just wait, dude. And that's another thing, man. I will say, I was listening to Optical yesterday, and he said something that was a very good point where, and I'm not going to get into the whole of it because we've all beaten it to death right now, but at the whole, this quality, is in art's going to be this great, blah, 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 and all this, and the price points, but saying like that vision, right? And I think he mentioned something about like Tusken Raiders, right? It's like, oh, it's not your favorite, but it's going to work for my scene, for what I'm trying to do as a fan of Star Wars.
Exactly.
That happens to a lot of us. So we have to dip into that. But Aries, can I move on to you for that? Because I'm curious. I mean, you're just as Leo pointed out. I mean, we're all Star Wars fans. You're all Star Wars as it is. Do you find it difficult sometimes having that restraint? Do you want to just curate, or do you have like a goal for that, for your collection in that sense?
I feel like, brother, that there is so much. We could probably talk about this all night and all through the night, because
that's what we're here for.
I know. And I think it's actually, in my view, it's going to be great therapy, this conversation, for so many that are listening and for us, because it's, for me, like Leo was saying, I'm so into Star Wars. I have to get every one of them. There's not like, they came out with the Solo, Han Solo, the regular one. They don't have a whole lot of figures from that movie. What does it fit in? It's Star Wars. It has a head sculpt. I gotta have it. So for me, it's just, hey, I love all the characters. And it's such a gigantic part of my life. It's kind of like, Leo brought up a great point coming from that, where you look at the with the vintage, for instance, using those, and you go in the back of the car with the 12 back, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get this figure, check that off, and now there's 24. It's or a 21 back now, or it's a 20 back and then a 21 back. With that Boba Fett, with the rocket firing, you got to collect all of them, and then wait a minute. Empire Strikes Back is coming out. Now there's a 31 back. And it just keeps going on and on and on.
Yeah.
And for me, once you get into a certain collection, like whether it's Hot Toys or, a specific line, for me, I want to get every one of them, because that's just, it just brings joy to me. Hot Toys is very interesting you bring this up. They're very, very expensive.
They really are. I mean, we take that for granted, but they really are.
They're expensive. So just like you can't get, when you're hunting, it's a hunt. If you're a vintage Star Wars collector, it's a hunt, especially if you're trying to get them mint in the package, or mint on card, or, you're trying to get them uncirculated. You're not going to, unless you're a billionaire, you're not going to get them all at one time, but you want to accumulate them. And so with Hot Toys, like for me, for instance, you've all heard me say this a bunch of times, I don't collect the troopers, without the head sculpts. It's not that I don't want them.
No, of course.
But I just can't afford it. So I have to be like, cool. Now, do I have a plan down the road where it's like, hey, if I could somehow, some way get all of these with the head sculpts and it slows down for a minute, would I be like done? Because that's the other part of your question. Like, okay, No, because now I've got to go back
and get the,
and
they get the troopers and stuff, and
then once I get the troopers, there'll be more head sculpt. It'll never end.
Yeah.
You know, for me, in that regard. And then with the vintage, if somehow I can get every one of them mint on card, if I can get every one of them mint in a box from the 70s and the early 80s, mid 80s.
Oh yeah.
Well, then I'm going to go into Hasbro and I want to get everything for the vintage collection, not just the stuff that they're putting out now, but their first original vintage collection, which is
just really go back and capture that.
Yeah.
And it's
never ending.
And it's like, look, my daughter's a huge Marvel fan. I mean, my youngest daughter is just gigantic Spider-Man fan forever, for as long, you know. So we go to all. I would love to get these figures because they're near and dear in my heart. I just can't. I know that if I venture out, I'll go down a rabbit hole. I just won't be. That happened to me before, and I got into so much debt. Maybe want to throw up back way back, many years ago. So I go into it. Do I always have to fight that desire? Do I always have to fight that impulse? I do. I don't know about anybody else, but I do. I have to fight it. But I try and stay within the lane. But when it comes to Star Wars, I'm just so, I don't know. It magnetizes me so much that I just got to stay there because, like Layla was saying, I got to, like, for you, it makes sense to me because you are, you know, you're also, Star Trek's your number one. And there's so many collectors. I know collectors that diversify into other lines. They don't have a favorite, but yet you have, Anthony, you have a mechanism that you're trying to stay true to. And on the same token with me, so am I, because I know for me and my psyche, I got to stay with Star Wars. Otherwise, I'll dive off the deep end. Well, it's so interesting, this topic, though.
No, it is. And dude, that's very well thought out, Aries. Like, you do see, we do think about these things, and sometimes maybe we get caught up in stuff and we get a little bit reminded of that. Like, I know, like, as you mentioned, if it's you're a head sculpt guy, I get that, right? And that's not that you don't want the others, but as you mentioned, because it's not a cheap hobby. Well, so when you go for it, you're like,
I'm so
that
into
sculpt.
Yeah, it's like what we were saying, and Leia, what you were saying. I get so into the character, and I'm watching the animation, or I'm watching the actor or the actress, and then I see these Hot Toys, and I'm like, holy frack! I feel like I'm in the movie with them, and that's why. With the head sculpts, really, it's such a work of art, and for me, because I come from that toy background, it's still a toy. They're called Hot Toys, and they're still a toy, right, even though they really do look like statues of me. But they're just so, it's amazing to me. So I got to have them.
Well, and the nice thing too, though, with your Aries is also that you're focusing on Star Wars.
Yes.
You know, so then but then and you're like, damn, it's like you said, it never ends.
No.
Right. If you get what you need now, you can go back and get the other stuff. When you get that, then maybe you're gonna go look at the older. You know, so I totally get it. But at least it's your focus, though. You're that's still a form of curation. Like, you are like, this is what I want. This is Star Wars. This is what I'm into.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It's a little difficult for me, and I think a little bit difficult for Jay. Even though we all here have everything so much in common with one another, but Jay and I, man, we're like all over the place, but seemingly all over the place. Yeah. But I would say that we both curate more than anything. And Jay, I want to hear your thoughts on that, because I think we're in agreement on that.
Oh, absolutely. Curation is key for me. That, you know, the answer is definitely curation over quantity. It's funny because I say that, but yet I'm dip and dabble in just about every lane. I mean, if I say the base of my collection is, at one point, was all Marvel, it was all MCU stuff, and then, you know, over the years has grown more to Marvel and Star Wars, but now it's Marvel, Star Wars, the 80s.
But you see, it's changed though, right? Yeah. I mean, we've all, I mean, whether or not, and I'm gonna let you continue, but whether or not we you know, with an Aries case, it's primarily, well, it's Star Wars, right? Lael's primarily Star Wars with some Marvel in there. You had a lot of the Marvel, and I know, and even with Mario, and we'll get to Mario in a bit here too, is that, you know, then you ended up getting rid of a lot of that stuff because you're realizing as the collection grows, your tastes are kind of getting a little more refined. You know what you're really trying to go with, whether it's, you know, space or your overall things. But I'm sorry, but go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, you hit it on the head. When it came to Marvel, my thing was making sure that I got stuff that represented the 4 key Avengers movies. Actually for 3, I didn't get anything from Age of Ultron, but I made sure I got the first Avengers, the Endgame and Infinity War. All those movies meant a lot, especially the Infinity War line. I think I've said that before. I'm not going to go into it, but it means a lot to me. It means, something real, something real important to me. My mom and my aunt went to go see all those movies together. But I also said once I complete the Endgame line, I was going to kind of slow down on Marvel, and I would kind of cherry pick. And I kind of find myself doing that with all the properties because you can definitely go in. Like if you say I'm just going to do Star Wars, pick.
That's a wrap.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. I mean, it's almost unsustainable, And I think that's even when I'm having a problem now. Like when I thought about it this week, and this is a perfect topic. Because I was thinking about this week. I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, usually I have a plan. I had a plan for this year. But then I started thinking about my plan. And I was like, sometimes you write a plan down and it sounds good in your head. But when you go to execute it, you're like, oh, shit, this doesn't make any sense. This can't be displayed properly. And my thing is this. My rule of thumb is, yes, I like a lot of stuff. I want all these things. But if I have to take something and put it in its box and not display it, that's the kiss of death for any collectible in my eyes, in my collection. Because if I put it away and I put it in storage, do I need it? Do I enjoy looking? Because when I walk in here every morning to start my day off or get my coffee and do my work and everything, I look in here and I'm like, it's the last thing I see. It's the last thing I see at night, and the last thing, the first thing I see in the morning.
Right.
And it's gratifying for me. But if I can put something away and not see it, then it's out of sight, out of mind. I don't need it anymore. That means it needs to be sold, and I need to get something else that I'm crazy about. So for me, creation is everything at this point. But it's hard because I'm getting another DeLorean. Yes, I have a DeLorean back there. No, I'm not going to sell that DeLorean because Back to the Future means something to me. But when I think about all of it, it's a lot of stuff that means a lot to me. But I think also I do get caught up, and I'm not going to lie, I get caught up in the stuff of buying stuff that looks cool. I'm like, oh my God, it looks cool.
I think we all do. Everybody in the chat, I'm sure we all do. We all do, guys. And it is. It's. And Jay and everybody, you guys know, man, I've always said that. I mean, if I put a figure in a box for, before I decide if I really want to sell that figure, because I don't really sell often unless I did that purge. But, I say put it in a box. I did that. With all of my Rogue One, bro. I shit you not. The entire run of Rogue One, I just boxed up. I had them stacked over in the corner over there, and I left them there for like 2 weeks. And then I listed them for sale. I seriously waited like 13, 14 days. Because I really want to see how I felt with them not being around. But if I was like, oh no, I made a mistake, I pull them out of the boxes, right? So
I sold like stuff that considered grails. Like I've been collecting for a while. I had the Bruce Lee, I had that figure. I had Enter the Dragon Bruce Lee, sold it. I had Bank Robber Joker, sold it. And often when I sell, I don't really miss. I recently had Mech Test Tony. Yes, sold it. And I don't miss it. I don't. There's only one figure that I regret selling and that I miss. I guess Bank Robber Joker would be in there too, because that was my first Hot Toys. That has sentimental value. But the one that Mario has right there, that's like my one. That's like the future Good Morning Grail right there. That Mark 6. That's
Mark 6.
When I sold, and I needed the money bad at the time. In the 20, it was the 2020. I needed the money.
Jay,
I sold it.
If I can,
go ahead.
I can pass this over to you right now through the screen. But here, take it. Here you go. But
Jay got it.
there
No,
it
I'm
is, man.
kidding. That's so beautiful.
Healthy proto.
I sold
Yes.
it. And that's the thing. I sold it. Here's the bad thing. I sold it,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I sold it, I think I had some stimulus. I sold it for like exactly $600. And once I sold it, I shipped it off right to UPS, and I was like, damn. I was like, well, I need the money. And then I checked my bank account, and I had some stimulus money come in for $600 exactly. I was like,
Shit.
I was like, damn. So
It happens.
that was the one
It
that got
happens.
away.
Yeah, dude, I've been there. Oh, I think we've all been there. But let me real quick to Jess Haas, hometown hero, my man. Thank you so much for that $5 super chat. He says, if you guys won't buy the Tuscans, it's okay. I will. Yeah, you will, man. And they're cool. Like I said, there's always something there for everybody. Jay, I just want to, before I get to Mario, I wanted to bring that up because you mentioned the DeLorean Mark II. You have a DeLorean. That's another big thing that we always have to factor in moving forward as well. Like, this shit's always backwards, but you can see right here, right? Like, I've cleared this out. So, right there. So I think the DeLorean, you know what I'm saying? We have to do stuff like that, right? Like, you have to think about it. You kind of have to plan, because eventually you're just like, I'm just grabbing stuff. What am I gonna do with it? You mentioned you don't like putting them in boxes. If it's in a box, it's out the door. That brings me to Mario, because Mario does that. So there's a different contrast. So I wonder, because Mario, we talked about this a little bit, man. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let you take the floor on this one, man.
Yeah. You know, if anything, bro, because I've been doing this for a long time, man. I started collecting like back in freaking 2014. So I've accumulated a massive collection over these years. But the thing is that Star Wars is where my heart is at, and what Leo mentioned too, I come from that mentality because I started off collecting 375, right? So that's where my mentality is at. Is that I want, like, you know, everything I can get my hands on.
Yeah.
But I actually ended up taking a break, you know, doing that. I mean, shortly after, because I realized that, you know what, it doesn't stop, right? When Attack of the Clones was coming out, when they were pushing their 375, I'm like, it doesn't stop. So I need to take a break, you know, just from collecting this stuff. But the problem is that I just took a break from Star Wars. I didn't necessarily take a break from collecting altogether. And what happened was I started gaining interest in other things that I loved before, you know, my childhood. Right. I found some other stuff. Macross, Robotech, right? There was a company, Yamato started putting shit out, you know, for some of that stuff. And I'm like, freaking hell, these look dope. I've never had anything like that when I was younger. And they were so detailed and accurate, you know, to an animated movie.
Yeah.
I got in deep on that line. Loved them all for a while, but I had to sell them off because then Takara was reissuing the G1 Transformers lines too. So I was like, shit. I was way into those when I was a kid, man. So I got
you just
into
felt
that.
more connected. That just brought you back from your childhood.
Pretty much. Amongst with that, there was some other stuff that was coming out too. And then the Black Series came out. You know, I went hard into that because this is something new in 6-inch. I've never seen that in Star Wars.
Yeah, bro.
The problem is that I thought they started off really good, but then later on, as the line went, you know, got older, the quality just completely dropped, and I got tired of it. So I sold them all off so I could start collecting Hot Toys. And at the time, there was no Star Wars license yet, right? So when I first started collecting the Hot Toys, I was like, yo, it was just all Marvel.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm gonna get this, I want to get that. You know, new collector, we tend to go hard sometimes, right?
You do.
And then I noticed that, and then I see, holy shit, they did an 89 Batman, there's an 89 Joker, there's an Indiana Jones. Well, shit.
Well, then how'd that make you feel? Like, just,
that's when, going backwards suck. But then when they brought the Star Wars license out, I was like, okay, I'm in. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. I want to focus on Star Wars.
Yeah.
And when they brought everything out, it was all in moderation, right? With the original trilogy, you only got a couple figures here and there, but Marvel was hot, so everything that was coming out was Marvel. So I was like, cool, I could probably collect both right now. Still, I'm doing okay. Let me go ahead and start doing that. But I found myself getting I got tired of the fact that there was something new all the time. When Marvel would bring out a new movie, there was a new figure. There's a new iteration of a certain character that I really liked. I'm like, well, that one's got to go because I want a new one, you know?
Right.
And now that Star Wars is just basically taking over since the Mandalorian, it has become. I'm realizing right now that it's too much. I'm at a crossroads right now where I'm like, I don't want to do this, but I'm starting to reevaluate how I'm collecting, my priority for Star Wars.
Yeah,
because I feel like I'm missing out. I feel like I'm missing out on so much other stuff. Right? Jay, you mentioned that when you box your figure up, that's like the touch of death for a collector. Just that's the hint to go ahead and sell it. That worked for me to a degree, but the thing is that I also had a vision for some of the figures that I want to display. So that's why because this Mark 6 I've had since day one, but at the same time I'm trying to build that Hall of Armor, hoping they would release them all in die cast.
Gotcha.
So I went ahead and invested in that. I unboxed this thing tonight, and it's been in storage. I packed it up 2 years ago. About 2 years ago, and I just unboxed it tonight. I'm so excited to crack it open just because I am looking at the paint apps and everything. The presence of an Iron Man figure is amazing, right? So now I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and rotate the collection pretty soon. What's up, Cam? I want to rotate the collection pretty soon, but I'm trying to plan it out to the point to where, okay, for the Star Wars shelf, do I want to stick with OT? Or do I want to go and display some figures throughout the entire saga?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm trying to figure that out. And then also, I'm also worried about if I do that, am I going to go ahead and, consider selling everything? Right? Because when I went to go to get this Mark 6, I've got a lot of shit in storage, bro. That's the other thing. When you start offloading stuff and keeping it off site, and then trying to pull stuff out while you're doing, cycling through rotation, that also makes you think that, okay, you know what, I've got limited space here, but I've got way more space to deal with, offsite. But then when that offsite gets full, then what do you do? That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Right. Shit, I done filled up my damn storage with so much stuff.
Now you're in the last. You're on the last level. Right, because
pretty much,
most people they fill up their space and then their space runs out. Yeah. Now you've gone to the next and you have storage. Now your storage is running out. Exactly. Bro. It's insane. So now I'm at a point, like I said, I need to reconsider what I'm going to do with these things.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
So I've sold some stuff off, but as you know too, Jay, I'm trying to go back and get some of the shit that I sold off because I feel like there's so much other stuff that's out there, what Hot Toys and other six scalers doing right now that I don't want to miss out on.
Oh yeah.
What 𝗕𝗓𝗏's doing with Lord of the Rings, I've always wanted to like get into that line, but there was nothing that really appealed to me. Then I see what 𝗕𝗓𝗏's doing, like shit. I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
Reevaluate again, right?
Exactly.
See, that's why with 𝗕𝗓𝗏 I decided that I'm sticking solely with IPs that I really have an advantage where I know that because again, the DC line, because I even said, there were only two lines that were important to me, honestly, which was DC and Harry Potter. Once I see that, once I see basically what they released on that line. But then again, like I said, I had to sit back and say, okay, what carries a level of importance for me? Right. More of an importance for me, you know what I mean? And that is where, because here's the thing, like there's a few figures that I've actually put back in the box, but that's because, again, those were figures that I knew I was getting rid of, but if it's a figure that I have a natural attachment to, I'll find a way. Like I literally find a way. I like I said, I never, ever sell. Like I don't, I don't because, again, I always have this thing in my it's like this hair raising in the back of my neck. It's like, well, wait a minute, because something's going to happen and you're going to think about that figure in the long run.
That's true.
And then once you sell it, something's going to come out that's going to complement that figure. You're going to be like, damn, why did I get rid of this piece?
That's right.
So I don't.
You're waiting for bays, man.
Exactly. So, but But the thing is, I would never sell them. I would never sell Rogue One. I just can't.
I know, but I did it.
It's difficult.
I got shot.
It's really difficult, because I'm like kind of thinking about a way out.
Yeah.
The figures that I will not sell, and right now I'm gonna tell you, it's the original trilogy. Nothing from there is gonna go.
Yeah.
Unless NR and Queen Studios get a Star Wars license, and then I'm
Yeah.
screwed.
Right.
Then well, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But everything else, I may let it go at some point. But the thing is, I'm just not going to want to.
It's
Because
hard.
I feel like later on down the line, I'm going to want it back,
Hard.
and I'm going to kick myself in the ass if I let it go.
See,
and then I have a vision. I'm sorry, I have a vision for my collection. I'll be honest with you. The vision that I have in my collection, honestly, is to have a classic collection that anybody can step into my collection room, anybody of any age, and they can go and see something that's for them. I want a 60-year-old. I'll say somebody else. An 80-year-old man that's like, man, I don't like that stuff. What are you into, kid? And then they come in the room and like, oh my God, is that Adam West Batman? What the hell? or a kid is like, oh, you like those old movies? And I'm like, oh my God, Spider-Man. That's how I want my collection. I want it to be something for everybody.
What you're talking about, my friend, is a museum.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
It's serious.
That's why this detail section goes
vision
the whole way down there and wraps around, because it is like literally it's a hall for me. It's a museum. These pieces are strategically placed there to look like they were museum pieces. I'm gonna tell you what I did 2 days ago, and this was crazy because I thought about it, because I was like, you know what, a lot of people talk about, you know, we have our OT figures, we have our prequel figures, and then we have the sequel figures, which not too many people gravitate to, and I understand that. And you know, somebody asked, was like, well, if you were certain things about the prequels that you didn't, I mean, the sequels that you didn't like, why do you hold on to these figures? There's a reason for it.
That's a good question.
There's a reason for it. And that's because in my eye, and from what I believe, unless these tell me different, there's certain figures in here that you will not see again. Okay, there's certain things that you, and the thing is, we talk about those figures that we, you know, had a epiphany, you know, we had like a connection to, you know, an infinity to, you know, back in the day. That's going to be the same way for, like, you know, my kids and kids going forward and other kids who basically see it.
The next generation,
like, oh,
you know,
you have that, you know, this one, bro. I guarantee you, those Praetorian guards, unless by some miracle, you're not going to see those Praetorian guards again, bro. And those pieces are amazing to have in hand. And I was like, yep, I would never, ever get rid of them, you know, because I know what to expect and I know what I want. Everything is built off of a vision. If you have it starts with a vision for all of us. That's why I say don't collect figures. Again, everybody, you know, again, they hyped up the Aragorn, and yes, it's a dope piece, but it doesn't fit me. I'm not going to buy it just because. You know what I mean? Even when I talked to Toya about it, she's like, you don't need it. I was like, I definitely don't need it. It's something that I don't have in my collection. I don't want to go down that line because it's going to look awkward. There's only one piece that I have in my collection that it's completely away from everything else that I have in my collection here. It doesn't go with anything. And that's 𝗕𝗘𝗧𝗪𝗓. And because I have every book that they ever released from 𝗕𝗘𝗧𝗪𝗓 because I love that. I have all the I have the anime, everything, because I love 𝗕𝗘𝗧𝗪𝗓. And to have that figure in hand once they announced it, I was excited about it and I wasn't disappointed. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it starts with a vision, and it's everybody's gonna have their own vision, but just be smart about it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for conversations that you see in groups. Don't fall for people telling you that you actually have to get this figure. Don't fall for even us when you hear us, you know, just pretty much enamored with certain pieces. If you don't have the connection to it, don't get it. I'm just telling you, don't do it because you don't want to run into that issue.
Well, you bring that up with those Praetorian guards, right? Like, you know me, I'm not into the sequels, but then you see them and you're like, damn, those look cool. And then, you know, like you said, they're not going to come again. And then you're like, and then you get that pull that's sucking you in, man. Dude,
it's hard. What's up, man? It's hard restraint.
What's good, brother? It is, man. Go ahead, Aries. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, like, you guys were just talking about the Aragorn from InArt. My God, it is so damn good. Just like that Gandalf, also. And I'd love to get those because I love Lord of the Rings. I have a connection to Lord of the Rings. But then again, it's like what you were saying, Leia, like, you know, what Toya said to you. I'm sure if I brought it up to my wife, she'd probably say the same thing. It probably is not going to fit in with you because you tried that also years ago when you got in trouble and it didn't work, and it always just came back to what you primarily love. So sometimes, Anthony, you look at these things, and it's like, just like when you freaking Mario, where you're trying to hand brother cousins that Iron Man. I was like, damn, that looks good, baby.
It makes you want it, right?
You're not want to have off right now.
Right.
Yeah. Bro, let me segue, man, because I totally missed Ray, man. Hawkwar's Toys, dude. Thank you so much, brother, for that 10 bomb, dude. It says Mario, Iron Man is still waiting for you. Listen. I'm gonna interject, dude. Ray, I just bought the Iron Man. Leo, I told you the Iron Man Origins. Yep. Finally, the deluxe. Grabbed it from Ray, man. So shout out, brother, dude. I can't wait to get that. Yo. You know, I think you and me, Leo, we were the only ones in the beginning anyway. We were like, oh shit.
After your show, literally on Tuesday, bro. After the show, at least 7 or 8 people were like, damn you, Lael, and sending me pictures of them ordering that piece. Like literally. Just because of the show. But see, the thing is, bro, I wasn't telling you, I was just telling you how much I love the piece and showing you how it looks in person. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the way it is. And to have it in hand, you're going to see the difference. A lot of things that you saw on video, photos didn't do that thing justice, man. Once you get it in hand, it's a totally different story told. So I'm telling you, you know,
the other day,
Mafia, you're gonna love it, and Mario's gonna get it. Go ahead. When
we were talking about it, man. I mean, I saw a photo that clicked for me, and what that was is that I was talking about how I'm trying to build up the Hall of Armor, the 1 through 7. Right in the middle of it was that damn Iron Man Deluxe.
Yeah, bro.
Right. Anthony just got it in, you know, and he showed me that he got it, and he mentioned that he got it from Ray. I'm like, oh shit. I mean, I feel like,
dude, when I get my camera back, bro, because it's still under repair.
Yeah,
you're gonna be
Ray,
like, damn, bro.
Ray, if you can, Ray, save that for me, Ray, because I really right now, because now we're also going to be talking about sacrifices.
Yeah.
So, Ray, if you can save a copy for me, I would appreciate it, because I just can't do it right now, man.
Hey, Mario,
really will.
check this out.
Sitting in my comic book
You
store.
got to remember this, bro. Mario, remember this. You and everybody on the panel and everybody out there in the group has a chance to win one for free. Literally.
That's true.
Ooh, really?
It's bro, that's the one I'm giving away. I'm giving a free deluxe away.
You're here,
do you
man.
not watch
some
Leo?
details,
I mean, gosh.
Bro,
it's
that's the running gag. That's the running
I
gag.
forgot that we could actually
plug away, Leo.
Everybody has a chance to win. All you have to do, like literally, is become a member, which you already are, which Mafia you already are. Everybody's already a member of the Figure Flex Friday Facebook group. Also become a member of the Collector Zone Cantina Facebook group. In there, you will see the video that I put up on YouTube. You comment under that video why you love why you love Iron Man, and why Iron Man is your favorite character. Your name goes on a wheel. We spin the wheel, and you have a chance to basically win that figure. It's just as simple as that, and it's the deluxe version. Simple, plain and simple. So everybody who was on the fence, if you're worried about your finances and stuff like that,
that's it right there.
And it's just as easy as that. Nobody is there. It's a fair game. It's a fair thing. You know what I mean? So if it lands on your name, you win. That's just the way it is. So there's no biases here, and you'll see that it's not rigged. Definitely, that's how you can do it. And I'm vouching for it. That piece.
That's how we roll, man.
Freaking phenomenal. Definitely.
I just think it's fucking hilarious, because we always do that shit where like, you know, fucking Mario's like, what? I didn't know that. And it's like, we're all bros, but then I'm like, and I poke Jay at that shit too, or whatever. I'm like, so you don't watch my, you know, like I didn't hear, like we do that. We do that to each other, you know, big man, I've said this. Yeah. Do you not watch my videos? And we're all like, sometimes no, like it's just a funny gag, man.
I'm trying to set Leo up, let him plug, man. So let me, you know, because I want to hear it too.
Well, you know. All right, that's a nice save. That's a nice save, Mario.
I like
yes, I knew about it. I did know about it, but
I know I'm just saying.
Give my brother an opportunity to plug.
I like the simple fact that we all like have we have this space that whereas we can either donate, we get donations, we can have these, you know, giveaways. to me, it's not just about drawing attention to like the channel of the group. That's good and that's a bonus. But to give somebody something that they've wanted or they didn't think they could have, that's an incredible feeling, bro. And something that you mutually have a love for. That's how it is. And it's gonna be great. Like even once, I'm telling y'all that right now, like once I get my hands on both of Jay's 66 figures, I'm going to give those away, and you will feel good about
you giving those away, brother?
He will feel good about me giving those figures away for him. So I'm just letting y'all know.
You know what? If there's actually, the Mars toys you can consider, bro. You can get those and give those away.
You could, man.
Yeah, nah.
They're all right. Look, man, but Lael's right, man. I try.
You might as well stop. That ain't going nowhere. Oh hell no, Jenner. So
right, man, let's make it happen, guys. We're gonna start a campaign, man.
Gonna happen. Y'all can till the cows come home, and it is never gonna happen. Straight up, nope.
We're gonna bully Lael to give that damn thing away. Watch.
Yeah, man. It's. Look, I understand, man, because we all try to do that and we try to give back whenever we can, because it's good. It's a good thing. And, I mean, at the end of the day, but we are all, we're like you. I mean, I'm not trying to say that as some weird fallacy. Like, literally, that's why I started my channel, because I love collecting figures. I loved Star Wars. Okay, I don't like you know what I'm saying? I like OT, man. OT is where it's at and all the other good stuff. So it was like, and then for me, it was like, you know what? I need to start a channel. I need to talk about this, so it's just, it's awesome to be able to do that for everybody, man. It absolutely is. I do have another super chat though, man. Thanks so much, brother. OG Mando says, Lael, you got that Clone Wars Ahsoka for me. Love you, bro. Great show, guys. I think he's
trying to get that off you too.
He's trying to cop that off you, man. But dude, honestly, guys, I wanted, and this is a great conversation, man. We got 180 in the chat, man. Please go and hit that like, subscribe to everybody here if you can, man. We're just trying to shoot this a little bit of a deeper discussion tonight, but honestly, I think we think about this stuff and sometimes we don't talk about it. And, I figured, you know what? Let's bring it up. So, I mean, is there an end in sight? I know, right? That's like the doom words right here. But, and I don't want to hear like yes or no. Because, I think we're all going to say no. There's no, but I mean, as far as, collecting 6-scale figures, Aries, I know I want to bounce back on you because it's always Star Wars for you, brother. It's so. But what I meant by that is like when we curate our collection over time, we're like this. I have a vision. Lael says it all the time too. There's visions, man, where we want to complete certain things, like certain scenes. Yes, it's a never-ending project, but do you ever feel like you can be like Thanos, man, and just watch the damn sun, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm serious, man. Like, what do you think, man?
Oh God, that's loaded, right? These are really stimulating topics. I'm having so much fun with this. Is there an end in sight? No. For me, no. I don't see a time where I am not going to collect, to be quite honest with you. Now, does that mean haven't gotten out of complete collections before and gotten into something else with Star Wars that's maybe more high quality or maybe just different or whatnot? Sure. I think many of us, have maybe done, stuff like that or that type of thing. But an end in sight, gosh, I mean, the thought of it's like,
it's a crazy thought.
It's almost like it's almost like asking a fighter, like, hey, are you thinking about retiring? And most of them are going to tell you, especially in their prime, like no, no, I'm not even thinking of that. You plan for the future, you plan for what you're going to do after, you plan for these type of things or whatnot. It's hard, dude. So I think, having, not digressing, but I think it's part of it, having a plan, like we were talking about, knowing what your vision is on where on what you want to do, having a budget, and having some forward vision as to how you're going to plan it out, how you will expand, how you will grow, how you will manage space, how you will gain extra space, or how you would store, or how you would sell and upgrade to maybe newer versions. There's always many ways, and not one way is necessarily the right way. Like Mario might have a way, Jay might have a way, Lael might have a way, you might have a way, I may have a way, and all 5 ways might be good. But as long as it makes sense to the individual, to the individual spirit, to their vision, and you're able to at least, manage your finances, not get into trouble, stay afloat. But if the mechanism works, I think that it's fantastic. But for me, it's kind of interesting you bring this up. I don't ever want to stop collecting Star Wars. Now, Mario brought up a great point. What if InArc got a license? What if it was just so superior or different level, or
well, then you're shifting lanes.
Yeah, but
you're
then
still Star Wars.
Still
right?
Star Wars. I would pick those up. I already know I would pick those up. And it would just, expand. But no, I don't know. I mean, for me to say, hey, like Thanos, I'm going to get to this point and then I'm going to be done. And then I'm just going to, put the ring like Bilbo on my mantle for 60 years and just sit by the fire and bake cookies and, plant my, water my tomato plants and, no, I want Hot Toys to continue. So part of my excitement, as you see with all the stuff that I put out and I share with you guys and I share with everybody in the chat and in the community, I'm freaking stoked with how much Hot Toys is diving into Star Wars, because I want to see these characters. I joke about Bail Organa, but I really, really wanted Jimmy Smith's Bail Organa figure, because I love the character and I love Star Wars and I want it.
Yeah.
And if I get to the point where I stop, that means Favreau has stopped, Filoni has stopped, Deborah Chow has stopped, Disney has stopped. Something happened, like The Last Jedi, for instance, again. That kind of makes me shiver.
We don't want that again.
No, we don't, because everybody, including Hasbro, stopped making toys. There wasn't even a 3.75-inch line. First time ever with the Rise of Skywalker. I was like, you got to be kidding. There is with the vintage collection.
Well, there's only like 3 figures or something like that.
Yeah. But they didn't do anything.
No.
So,
there'll be a resurgence for like years down the line when there'll be like a need for it or a want. If you have those people, basically from this generation who appreciates it, they'll probably want it. Yes. That's when they'll probably do that. It's like we did with the prequels and stuff like that. But for now, you ain't gonna see them no time soon.
No.
No, but you bring it, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Aries, but you're right. Like that was, I'm not gonna dive into it. You guys know my thoughts on the sequels, but I felt like that was such a colossal failure on Disney's end that what you're saying is that's like extinction level agenda, right? If that happens again, right? The Mando brought us back, in my opinion.
Trailer tomorrow. New trailer.
I can't wait, baby.
Really?
New trailer tomorrow. Doing the Dallas football game. Yeah, trailer tomorrow.
I mean,
but go ahead, Aries.
No, I don't think we maybe we have, but I don't think we've talked a whole lot about it. I was just talking about with my brother-in-law of the holidays about this, and I was like, it seemed like Favreau and Filoni went through great pains and effort to do what they did with Luke in The Mandalorian Season 2. And the reason why is because it was, like you said, it was a colossal, it was almost an extinction with Star Wars.
It really was.
They had to do that.
Bro,
That's why they did
it. I never left a theater my whole life. 41 years old.
Yeah.
5 minutes into Last Jedi, I was like, 10 minutes, 15, 30 minutes, but I drove all my friends there. But anyway, I digress. I was just like, it's not for me.
And I thought the movie was absolutely. I thought Rian Johnson, I don't mean to get it did a great job. It's very entertaining, but it was just like, oh, but Luke, I lost my mind. It literally bothered me for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Just that.
Luke, I was just like,
scene, all that shit.
and it has so much opportunity. But I mean, but here's the thing: I will say that from The Last Jedi, I thought that Rey figure was incredible. I thought that
the Rey and Kylo figure was great.
Yeah, that Crate
From
Luke,
Luke.
Yeah, even the Hobo Luke, that one, the sculpt on that was incredible. Man.
Both of them, like definitely, and I have them, and I'm like, there were some great pieces. Even even Leia, that figure's incredible.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I have that figure in my
gorgeous.
hand, bro. I wasn't gonna pass up on that. That was the last time we would actually see her on camera like that. You know what I mean? I was like, no, I'm not passing.
Like
on
right
that.
there.
It was
Well, and that's the
incredible.
thing. We can, without getting too off there, but like we can look at those figures as the older versions of the characters and try, at least if you wanted to, like try to pull that away and just have that as your represent. Like this is the last time we see them, right?
Like
the older versions, and you don't have to be like, oh, The Last Jedi. You can just be like, yo, this is Luke when he's older. This is later on after Dark Force Rising and the Heir to the Empire trilogy. I'm sorry, I love so you can pretend. Before I continue though, Blurred Dad Life, my man, $3 super chat. Thank you so much, dude. Says Mario, I long for the SDF1. I had it when I was a kid.
Yeah. I was actually talking to him right now and really want it, man. There's a Kids Logic statue up there. Granted, it's $2,100, but it's there if you want it, brother.
Yeah, dude.
I feel you.
And then 12-inch Moose Stream as well. Thank you again, man, for the super chat. Saying, I'm 61. Collecting figures keeps me young and happy. I'll never stop till they pry the latest action figure from my cold dead hands.
There you go, man.
Life's too short, dude, brother.
You see,
You're
he's
right,
doing
man.
It right, dude. He's actually doing it right. He has an actual love for the hobby, and that's awesome to hear, man. We should all
And
do
the thing
like
is-
that.
And that's what I love to hear, bro, because it's people. Here's the thing, like for us and the older generation, look, I'll be, 50 this year. Everybody who's up in age and who experienced this nostalgia back in the day, sometimes we got to keep in mind that these are things that we hold on to because it's kept us away from things that were really tumultuous in our lives. You know
Or
what I
took
mean?
us back. It got us out of it.
It got us out of things. It connected you. Like a lot of this, my collection journey started, with my mother. My journey started with my father. If it wasn't for him and my mom, I wouldn't be here. I've shared a lot of stuff with him, and him passing in 2010, may he rest in peace. That was these things and just the era. It takes. He went, and saw, both my parents went and saw the prequels with me in the theater, because they every Star Wars film that was ever released, they saw them in the theater with me. You understand? So that's the connection that I
deep seated.
have. It's deep seating. So that's why, like he said, collecting it's not just about, okay, yes, these things are expensive. We know that, and we knew what we were getting ourselves into. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm willing to pay these things if it connects me and it gives me that personal feeling that I had with my family.
Yes.
I'm willing to go back and I can look at these pieces and see it in a form that is so beautiful that I'm pretty sure if, my mom, she sees it all the time. My mom, she's paid, literally for Christmas, she buys me a figure every Christmas, and even for my birthday.
That's great.
Because she knows this is what I have a love for. You know
See,
what I
that's
mean?
beautiful.
So that's what I'm saying. Those things are what connect me and keep me in this community. Like just the love, and like somebody even said earlier, if I sold everything that I have in my collection, what the fuck would I talk to you guys about? What would I be able to actually share with you guys? What information would I basically be able to pass off? I can have these conversations, but I wouldn't be able to share in that same joy. because it's not something that I have.
Yeah.
If I didn't have this, I wouldn't know you, Jay. I wouldn't know you, Mario. I wouldn't know you, Mafia. I wouldn't know you, Aries. I wouldn't know half these people out here in this community, bro. So this is the reason, if you want to know why I collect and I'll never turn back, it's because of all of y'all, and it's because of the simple fact that it gives me that nostalgia.
Yeah, that's beautiful, baby.
It's absolutely,
it's a connection. So I feel like, Anthony, like what we're saying, you know, if it stops, I lose that connection. Not only to the community that Leia was just talking about, which is, you know, I mean, it means a whole lot to us. I mean, it's there's friendships, and gosh, how many people has helped me through the whole COVID situation. Yeah. And a lot of the pain and depression people were dealing with and still deal with it, you know, and coming out with it. I mean, it's I feel like we help one another. But then even going back to the family connections, and then the connections from childhood that your chat had up before with figures that brought joy. So if it stops, I feel like I stop.
Dude, that's, you know, so I had Nate finally, you know, from Geeking Out. Finally, it took 2 years because his schedules just doesn't permit. I had Nate on the channel the other day, and he kind of blew my mind on that. Like, you would think it's like such a simple thing to say, but sometimes we don't think about it. And he brought up something very similar to me. He was like, all of this reminds him of the good times, right? And if you were to kind of bail out or abandon that, or, you know, just kind of whatever to the whole situation, it's like he felt like he'd lose that part of him, you know, of his youth. And I was like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, bro.
I never think about it. Like, I don't think about it, but then you do. You're like, wow, no shit. Like, that's so, you know,
bro. Like, Mafia, bro. I and you know, because every single day, people, if you don't know, every single day,
I already know where you're going with this.
I send him a message. A voice message, every single day without fail. And it's a fun thing to do. But I just let him know that I'm not playing. But seeing 𝗕𝗘𝗠𝗘 on screen in theater literally was the same way I felt about seeing Empire Strikes Back and Star Wars for the very first time. Bro, seeing the Enterprise in such bad shape, seeing Spock die on camera, bro,
heartbreaking.
If you would have heard, I still remember as a kid, everybody in that theater like, no, and there were no leaks because you couldn't hear anything. Nobody gave you no information online. There was no internet leaks or none of that. You didn't know that. But bro, like literally, that's the feeling that I had. So to know that I'm able to recapture those feelings with those figures once they're released, yo, that's what I'm saying. That's what it's all about. You know, recapturing that actual feeling, everything that we felt, you know, back then when we saw certain things that we loved, certain pieces that we loved, scenes that we actually loved. I remember when I didn't have the Millennium Falcon and I couldn't have it. We just had the figures. We weren't able to get you know what I used to do, Mario? I'm gonna tell y'all. I used to take a egg carton and cut out little sections in it and put my figures in there and act like it was the Millennium Falcon when I was little. This is the stuff that I used to do. I used to do that because it was a substitution for things that I didn't have and wasn't able to get. I used to take my Star Wars figures and do that because it was just a creative aspect of it. I had the cockpit was an egg carton. I used a circle from something else to create
like a paper plate or something like
exactly, like a paper plate, like a huge paper plate. But that's how I created the Millennium Falcon because I was able to do those things. Now, when you think about it, that cockpit was a no-brainer. I was like, oh, I can now have that. 8-6 scale form. Yeah. You feel me? So everything that I couldn't have back then, I'm able to basically get now. Yes, it's going to cost more, but I'm contributing towards the art form. I'm contributing towards something that brings me back to those moments. So that's why when we talk about is there an end in sight? Hell no, man. Not now. There isn't, because the thing is, I still feel as though I'm just starting.
Oh, look at that. That is that is profound right there, my man. Just starting. I'm gonna continue with this, guys, but let me hit up Hoth real quick, man. Appreciate that super chat, brother. He says, I still don't know what the planner idea was with it. Oh, you kill off the old characters, make the new ones bland. It came out episode 7, which I was 13 times in the theaters. I loved with Ray, Finn, and Poe. Did I just read that?
He's talking about the sequels.
Yeah, it seems like he's saying
okay, so
that.
you watched The Force Awakens a bunch and then didn't. Okay, I got you, brother. I got you. Yeah, that's a story for another day, I suppose. But I do appreciate the super chat, brother. Yeah, it was. Yeah, man. But it is, right? Yeah. Okay, no end in sight for Lael. Obviously, it's just beginning, which is, yeah, I mean, I think when we get to a certain point anyway, I think about this stuff, right? Like I said, I'm in, the 40s now. You guys, we're all around the same age, dude. And I thought, we've all loved this stuff since we were kids, right? I know some of us more than others are more geared towards exclusively Star Wars, but even in general, Jay, myself, Mario, I know you guys as well to a lesser extent, but like, dude, like my fucking Terminators, Predators, the stuff that we connected with. Absolutely. in our youth or our adolescence, even like fuck, that's why I'm getting those Batman Forever figures.
I'm sorry, I still think we all express our age, but I still think that Jay's Benjamin Button, bro.
Jay got vampire blood up in him, dude.
Bro, he's not 40. He's not. He don't look. No,
he's my age.
Nope, I don't believe that.
Actually, I'm a little older. I'll be 42 this year.
Oh, shit. Well, I'll be 42 this year too.
I'll be 42 next month. I'll be 42.
You're older than me. Get the fuck. All right, get out. Get out. Get out.
Backwards, bro.
I thought this motherfucker.
He definitely.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding, brother. I'm kidding. I'll bring you back here. Let me shuffle.
Not.
Why is this not shuffling?
BC is somebody said BC is Blade. Yep.
Yep.
Damn it. BC
is Blade, bro. He's a day walker, bro.
I am. I got a sword and everything. It's right there.
Blade, bro.
He is. Bro. He's Blade, brother. Dude. Jorge, what's up, man? Dude, Hyperdrive in the house. What's good, man? How you doing, man?
Hey.
Congrats on the pickup too, brother. I know you just picked up Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan, and you hit a milestone too on the channel, didn't you?
Yeah, hell yeah, bro.
Yeah.
George getting them subs, man.
Yeah, I know. You know what? You are getting them subs, man. But dude, if you guys haven't hit him up, man, go check out Hyperdrive, man. He's kicking ass over there. All Star Wars. Speaking of Star Wars, right?
He's awesome,
seriously.
My dude, man, shout out, man.
We gotta get Jorge on for Scoundrels, Leo. We gotta have him come.
Yeah, let's go, bro. Man. Let's go if he ever wants to. I mean, we're doing a show next
Yeah.
Thursday. If he wants to jump in,
Jorge, if you're down, man, let's go on Civilized Scoundrels, man. This Thursday, if you're available.
Yeah, this Thursday, bro. If you are down, like, let's go.
Yep,
man.
Scoop him up, man, dude. Oh man, that'd be awesome. Great, yeah, exactly, man. Great content,
You know
bro.
what I do, bro? Honestly, there's two things in life that I've done, like lately. I see myself doing, bro. This is crazy. It's crazy to say.
Yeah, right.
But whenever I know that there's a Star Wars film coming, he said, I'm down. That's what's up. Let's go. But whenever there's a Star Wars film that I know is coming out, that's going to be released, Aries, this is crazy. I go to the doctors and I make sure that my health is right. I make sure that listen. I swear on everything I love. I go to the doctors to make sure everything is checked, that makes sure there's no problems. That's why I'm in the gym 5 days a week. I make sure that I am physically ready, because the thing is, we never know when it's going to come. They're saying that so far there's going to be two announcements at Celebration for 2 new movies. So the thing is, not knowing when it's going to drop or whenever, I don't know, but I want to make it till then. You know what I mean? And I also literally, I want to make it then. I want to say that I've lived long enough to see this thing through. That's just how much I love it. I love Star Wars with every ounce of blood I have in my body. And now recently, I pray that I am financially strapped to collect. Literally. I do. I pray that I am financially able to maintain and then I'm sustained, because it's things that we love, bro. And it's crazy. And I know people are looking at me like I'm crazy, but it's true. If you love something, you do everything you can to make sure that you're around and that you can enjoy it. Plain and simple.
Oh, absolutely.
So funny. When you were going to say that you prayed, I thought you were going to say what I was going to say, but you're cracking me up, because whenever a new Star Wars movie gets announced, the first freaking thing I do is I start praying, please God, don't take me until this movie comes out. You can take me right after it comes out.
I felt that way.
I can't lie. I've done that as well, man.
I felt that shit, bro, with fucking Battlestar Galactica, because I was taking so long for the goddamn final season, and I was like, come on, man. Just make sure I'm all right. Because, you know, sometimes I got that heart thing, and I was like...
Like, I don't have vampire blood like Jay, so I have to make sure.
That is some funny stuff, man.
That is
my wife was back to birth of my second child because I haven't been
right.
It was. I was saying
Ray's
that
on another level with that, man.
With Endgame, I was saying that. I was like, please God, I have to see how this ends.
Yeah, bro.
I was like, because it was a cliffhanger, so I was like, damn, I gotta please let me just hang on until it.
No, bro. Like that's just, if you were so passionate about it. You have to, like, that is real. Like, I make sure that I am physically fit, my heart's right, I get my prostate checked every year, I get my colon checked, I make sure everything is on point. Literally, bro, I'm saying I make sure
young for that.
My heart. Nah, bro, you're never too young. Chadwick Boseman proved that. But I'm just basically saying, like, and that's rest in peace, bro. He proved that, and may he rest in peace. This thing comes early, and we got to also take care of ourselves. But again, it's all about the things that we love, bro. We love collecting. We love film. You know, I think that, like, us as collectors, all of us who have this life, you understand that we have so much to say for ourselves and better off than a lot of people who are suffering from certain things that have nothing to attach to, bro. So, you know what I mean? It's real, bro. It's real out here, and I'm just being honest. I have to be honest. I will not tell a lie, and I'm going to be honest, bro, about this.
Yeah, I love this comment, man. That's Father of the Year
with Ray
right here, bro. Yeah,
yeah, dude. I had a doctor. My wife pushed back the birth of my second child because I had Revenge of the Sith tickets on the day he would have been born. Oh, that's great, man. I do have a super chat from Hoth, Hometown Hitters, my man. Thank you so much for that $5 super chat. He says, sorry, autocorrect hates me today. My point was they wrote themselves into a corner. Okay. Well, no, I appreciate it. Well, they did. They absolutely did. Look, I've ranted a lot. All I'll say is I mentioned this before, man. I'm going to keep it just real brief, man. If I had Disney money, right? Dude, come on. And I acquired Lucasfilm. I would hire the best fucking script writers, you know, who are in the biz. I'd get all the people who know Star Wars. I'd put them in a fucking writer's room for 9 months and be like, we're planning a trilogy. We're not leaving this room until all the trilogy's ready.
Yes,
but
George Lucas in the damn room with them.
They didn't give a shit. They didn't give a shit.
They had no plan. We're going to play it by ear every movie. That's bullshit. Bro. And then they had the whole how do you have the original cast and don't have them in a scene together?
But you have them all in the damn movie.
But you all have them there. And then you treated Luke. I was talking to Robert Meyer Burnett about this. We were talking about it last night. And like he said, like it was a waste of time what they did, and I would never have J.J. Abrams. I would never want him to direct another film or even touch anything Star Wars related. But and I was talking to him. I said, you know what, the perfect start to a film, especially in Star Wars, and I think Mario, we talked about this before, is if you had Luke actually searching for Rey. Literally, if you had him searching for Rey, if you had him knowing that she was the descendant or last or whatever, trying to make sure that a Palpatine doesn't get to her, or anybody else doesn't influence
that would have
her.
been more appropriate.
That sounds great.
Last
Where's the chicken now?
Like literally, like, but you don't know that he's the only one that knows it and reveals that to her in the third film. That would have made more sense if they would have did something like that. You had an opportunity to really write a decent film, and you couldn't sit down and think about that because you had the execs pressuring your back because they just bought something for $4.5 billion and wanted the investment that quick instead of taking a damn time. Like literally, you had time to do it and you didn't. You dropped the ball, and this is where we are, bro.
Well,
this is where we are, man.
That failure was not an option. That's how I feel. It was just not an option with that, especially with that franchise. And let other movies surpass it and let other movies tell better stories, like i.e. Marvel, is a failure. In my eyes, it is. That's just a failure. That whole trilogy in my opinion, wasn't right. It wasn't laid out right. You had two good characters. Rey, I think, was a good character, but she was underwritten. Kylo was an amazing character, but he's killed off, and it just wasn't done right. It really
Dude, I don't know how we're getting in on this, but I'll tell you one thing. Sorry, Mara, did I cut you off?
No, I was just saying, Finn was another one who's
that's what I was gonna say. Finn was the most fucking interesting story,
bro.
And they turned him into a joke.
Yeah, bro.
They did.
Bro.
I'm sorry, they did.
That way.
They
They
did?
definitely did.
No,
And
they
there's
did.
You know.
Yeah, and John Boyega was killing that part. In the, it's
Bro,
awesome.
he was, to me, I mean, literally what we saw, and they fucking teased the hell out of us when it came to that trailer, because when they dropped that trailer and then at the end when we saw Finn ignite that saber, people went nuts. They went nuts.
Yeah.
They were like, oh this is about to be on. This is gonna be crazy. When they introduced Kylo was dope, and I'm saying I don't care how Adam Driver felt. I just felt like Kylo shouldn't have took his helmet off into the third film.
No,
he should have.
I agree. Totally
He
agree.
should have kept it out on the entire damn time, bro. Because again, just the mystery of it. We know who you are, bro. We know you playing a role. If you want to reveal, third movie, and it just makes it more interesting. People are more enticed. Look what happened to Boba Fett. People were enticed about them. The limited amount of time he was on screen, didn't show his face. People still love that character. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It makes so much sense. So, man. See, that's why I wish Mario was coming to Celebration in April, bro. I swear to God, bro, I wish you were, bro. Because, like, literally,
I wish you, man, I could.
Oh my God, because just for you to feel when we were at Celebration and the feeling that we had there, bro.
Yeah,
it can't be replaced. It cannot be replaced. It just felt so good. I was like, damn. Oh.
I feel the same. Like, look, because when I here's the problem, man. This is weird. We're a little off topic, but listen, I remember seeing.
Sorry about that, bro.
No. It's my fault too, because anytime the word sequels come out, I just start this bitch fest, and I don't mean to. Because we're passionate, and the thing is that I remember seeing the Force Awakens trailer, and with Lael's point, like what hit me, Lael, was when I saw Kylo, dude. I was getting like Knights of the Old Republic vibes.
Old Republic vibes, bro.
You know, so I was like, oh, this is gonna be fucking awesome. And then I was like,
bro, when you seen him walking through the snow and he ignites that cross guard out of nowhere, that scene, that scene is on my wall.
But he wasn't walking. He was like walking with aggression though, and he just like angrily lit that lightsaber, man. I was like, oh
my God, bro.
Yeah.
That was my favorite. And that scene wasn't even in the movie.
Yup.
No, none of that. But listen, guys, in the chat, man, real quick, I do. For those who haven't seen, I put a poll in the chat. Well, actually, 104 of you've already looked. I said, do you mass a collection or curate, as we were talking about, man? So if you want to vote in the chat, we get 104 votes in there right now. Buy everything, fine tune my collection, or just focus on one IP. And so far, man, about 70% are all about fine tuning and curating the collection. So I like seeing what everybody's thoughts are on the community about that, right? Because that's really, I'm not saying that's what we all do, but it's interesting when you see that, because there's a trend there, and we can, and I try to relate with everybody the best way I can. I feel like that's how I am too. It's like, I want to curate. I want to, and it's hard because here we are bitching about Star Wars, but we have this passion and love for the originals so much that it's even hard for me, Lael. Like, I get it. Like, you're like, oh, I've got these older figures of, Leia and Luke and Han as a representation of, dude, but I was like, I can't look at these fucking things. And it was like, and it was only for me because I just had that disdain. Like, I knew that it was, but I get it. But see, that's the difference where we all have, because you can separate it. Like, I don't know how you're doing it with She-Hulk, but you're doing it where you're like, I'll have her as a representation.
It's a comic fan, bro, because I look at the comics. I look at my She-Hulk comics. I read the current story. I read that, and I'm good. I separate these. It just like, again, Morbius. I love that figure. So I'm separating that figure from the actual film, which I don't think the movie was as bad as a lot of people say it is. There was certain good aspects of it. It was all right. But again, I can learn to, separate that. The thing is, it's like when you love something, we love Star Wars. We want the best for it. You know what I mean? And it's hopeful. Even some of the things that I'm hearing for the future of it, it's hopeful. And I think that they're learning They're learning now to put your own selfish intent behind you and really hear the fans and know that we're pushing back on the bullshit that you've been basically giving us and give us some more.
Yeah.
Give us better. Give us better. That's what we want. Give us better.
That's what I was saying like a couple months back. It's just like I was feeling there's a bit of franchise fatigue because we are used to, and I'm not saying Star Wars was like Shakespeare. That is a connection. But growing up, with Leo, myself, we've read tons of comics, great story arcs. There's been shows outside of that too, outside of sci-fi. I mean, there's great written like I love The Wire. It's one of my favorite shows. You know, like just great stories, tight scripts, good characters. Like we're used to that, I think. And then when you're like, damn, you're just kind of giving me mediocre shit after mediocre shit. It's like that's where you get kind of discouraged in a way. And the problem is we're also collectors at the same time. So then when they do drop a Thor Love and Thunder, I'm not interested. I guess that's a good thing. It saves me money, but because I was just like, well, that sucked. Why do I want that in my collection, right? So I don't know if it's nostalgia or what. Was stuff back in the day written better? What do you guys think out there?
Yeah,
because I sure fucking think it was.
Written better, bro. It was written better because, again, it was less dependency on the spectacle or what we actually have, technology, CG, and all that. We didn't have that technology back then, so you relied on a story to give you the vision. And that's what they
Terminator
relied on.
1, dude, they had to fucking like sneak out and record that shit because they didn't have permits at night.
Yeah, bro.
They had to go guerrilla and film it, and that was one of the best things that
ever
I had
happened
to do in life. That I actually had the privilege of talking to Michael Biehn and telling him, like, you know, as a kid growing up, especially in the early '90s, Terminator 2 was my jam. I loved Terminator 1. But as I got older and I started to study film, and I started learning more about acting and just Terminator, the whole thing doesn't work without Kyle Reese and Michael Bihn's performance. You know, him selling it like this thing is going to come. It's going to, you know, he sold it. Arnold didn't really have to do much, but just be there. He sold that shit, and it made it. And what makes the first Terminator a masterpiece, and I think that's what the Terminator franchise is missing right now, is the fact that it was a horror movie. That's and I think it goes back to that, to those roots. That's the secret of bringing Terminator back.
Man, Terminator 2, Linda Hamilton, I always said this, she should have got an Academy Award nomination.
It was fantastic.
Something,
because, bro, she made you believe everything in her performance.
Yes.
Everything. She made you believe everything. The sheer emotion, the fear for her son, the fear for her life, the fear for everybody else's life. That scene when she was in there and she could have killed dude, but then she thought back and she just sat in the corner and cried, bro. I teared up in the theater.
The thing that's beautiful, and that's, you know, and I always say with Terminator 2, she is the Terminator 2. She's a Terminator at that point. She realized she became a Terminator. Brilliant writing. What I love about her in that movie, which if you know the history at that time, she was going through a divorce with James Cameron at the time. And I believe she was putting a lot of that intensity and a lot of that hurt into that character. And, you know, and that's why she was building her. It was her idea to build herself up and make her, you know, this strong warrior going from the first movie. So just I can talk all day.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, she was just a scared waitress in T1. But after, you know, Kyle Reese and then what happened, and then her being pregnant and realizing that everything he said was, you know, she just dude, she was dope, man. She's dope as fuck, man. Even in the whole like asylum in the beginning, like just
she sold it.
She was amazing.
She sold it, man. She absolutely. So maybe dude, fuck new movies. That's what it comes down to. Because I mean, really, because we had so many good ones back in the day, but we digress, guys. I mean, it's
seeing RoboCop on the screen for the very first time, bro.
Oh shit!
In the theater. In the theater, bro. RoboCop. And I'm like, damn, I remember that. And we weren't even old enough to see the film. We should have been in that damn
I was going to say, man, how old were you when you watching the movies? They let you in?
We should have been, bro. Listen,
my mother apologized.
I was young as shit when Purple Rain came out, and my sister snuck me in. That's how I was able to see that. I got snuck in that theater and saw it on screen. So that's what I'm saying. Like, these things that we got a chance to experience, I'm glad we did. You know what I mean? People in this generation don't know. You can call us, you can say, oh, you're a bunch of old farts. I'll be that. Because back in my time, It was the golden age. It was the golden age of everything.
I just think
Like
about
you're
how
talking,
many
man,
hits
over and
was
over
in
again.
the 80s. This is one. You had Star Wars sequels. You had Back to the Future. You had Goonies. You had Ghostbusters. You had RoboCop. It just keeps
Yeah,
going.
the Star Trek movies too.
Star Trek.
Yep,
films.
Star Trek
You
started
have Raiders
hitting.
of the
You
Lost
had
Ark
you
that
had Star
dropped
Trek TV
earlier, and Indiana Jones, everything.
Yup.
Bro.
Let's not talk about horror. Let's not talk
bro.
about horror. Come
Let's
on.
not talk about. Oh my God, come on, bro. Come on,
Yep.
man.
Die
Come on,
Hard,
man.
Top Gun, everything.
Hell
Just
yeah,
it
bro.
was.
Hell yeah. It was the
Spaceballs,
golden
Three
age of
Amigos.
films. And that's basically the foundation of what these films right now are built on, because they're trying to accomplish that. And they can't, because it's lackluster writing.
Yeah.
There you go.
And it's
It
like
is.
they can't generate, for many of them, an original idea. They
Mhm.
keep taking past ideas
Mhm.
because they work, and people are like, oh, okay, but it's like,
Well, I think they want to, like, and I don't mean to cut you off, Harris. I'm sorry, but and I don't want to get too deep into this path, but I feel like they're not really concerned about writing so much
Mhm.
these days. I just don't think they are. I think it's
A lot of
it's
it is just the studio interference, and then whatever they can do to flip a buck, right? To-
Yeah.
To capitalize off the
Exactly right.
profits. That's what a
Yep.
lot of it is, man. And it's just
Yep.
a shame that, the film, the film industry is like lost their it seems like this as they lost their way a little bit, just because of that,
Yep.
man. The art is suffering because of the studio interference.
yes.
It is.
That's we've seen it happen in the past,
Definitely
even
agree
back
with
in
you,
the
bro.
day, and things just they got destroyed.
You know
because
what,
of
bro?
that.
I was thinking about this. Like, this is crazy. But even when we went, even like as I got older, and the Mortal Kombat movie came out, people can say what they want to say about that movie, bro.
that
Like,
was a good damn movie.
seeing the, bro, I was
Your
hyped.
soul.
Listen. I was just hyped to see it on screen at that time. It was trash, but I was hyped to see it on screen at that time. I'm bringing it up because, like, bro, listen, they knew that even though it might be cheesy, whatever, it was fun. It was fun for the audience, and they knew what it was. And again, a lot of these films, like Mario, like, I really, really concur, bro. There wasn't much studio interference like it is now, bro.
Right.
It's
No.
That's
too
what's
much
changed.
studio interference now, bro. Like, literally, it is.
You know what's
Oh, my
interesting,
God.
though, guys? You know what's interesting to talk about this, because exactly right on film. However, I feel like with some of the television shows, there is some good stuff out there that they're coming out with that
Last
you
of
can
Us, Last of Us,
stream.
Last of Us.
That's Last of Us.
Oh yeah, baby.
Dude, I
Movies,
can't wait
you
for that.
know,
Can't wait for tomorrow night.
I mean, I don't know.
some of them are not bad.
Last of Us is like in art figures, bro. I don't know yet. I don't have it in
Yeah, you
hand.
think?
Let me see. They both look
But
great.
but it, just like in art, there's a couple reviews out there for the first episode, and they're saying it's phenomenal.
I
Dude.
know.
So,
So,
bro.
we gotta,
We'll see,
it's
All comes back to
it's-
figures.
The new Lord of the
I know it
Rings.
always comes back to figures, bro. It always
Rings
comes
of
back
power.
to figures here. But you're right,
Yeah,
Aries.
bro.
There are some good shows.
The Witcher, dude.
Dude,
I love
Game
The
of
Witcher.
Witcher is
House
pretty
of the
decent.
Dragon,
House of the
man.
Dragon. I was not a fan of Rings of Power. Maybe I'm a weird Lord of the Rings purist. I didn't like it, but there's hit and misses.
Yep.
There's hit and misses out there.
Yeah.
But there's something for everybody, I guess. At the end of the day, but I feel like a lot of the stuff is just. You're right. The writing just needs to be.
It needs
I
to be
think that
better.
they need to cater more to the actual fans. And not like vocal minorities with studios saying, "Hey, let's do this and let's do that because of XYZ or whatever." And it's like, let the writers write, dude. Don't
There you
push
go.
things.
Yes,
Don't push
yes.
deadlines. Don't do any of that. Just give people the room to breathe because they're artists.
Yes.
You know, they're artists. They are artists, writers, script writers. They're directors. They're
You know,
it's art. Let them work.
it's funny.
Exactly.
Everything that we're talking about here, I think that's the magic of the Mandalorian. It's very simple. It's like the old Battlestar Galactica, or the old shows from the late '70s, early. It's well done. I mean, I think there's just some magic in the Mandalorian. I love, and it's simple. It's not like it's like, oh, okay, you can get a kid that can watch that
Mhm.
and can really enjoy it, but yet for some of us that want a more intellectual experience, we talk about how great Andor is for that. but there's some good stuff in the man. It's just fun. That's what Star Wars was when it came out in '70. It was fun. It was just a fun space western, baby.
It's, right.
Yes,
Spawn imaginations, man. It just kicked off with the visual effects. You know, it just made you believe in the story, man, with the fantasy and the technology that was there. And Mando recaptured it, man.
Bro,
You know,
I remember.
it was a fun show.
I don't know how they did it, but they did it.
Bro, school, like what was it? Winter of '83, we had a blizzard. And we got to stay home. There was like, you know, a snow day. So we got to stay home from school. Turned on the TV.
Remember back in the day, we even had to turn on the TV just to see if we got snowed in?
Yeah, check it out, right? What came on television that day? New Hope, baby. And it wasn't even called New Hope. Still Star Wars.
Still Star Wars, yeah.
Still Star Wars, man.
Came on screen. I was like,
4x3.
Give me a nice big ass bowl of cereal, sit right in front of this TV, and we're gonna have a good time. Straight up. And then you know what we used to do, Mario?
Yeah.
Outside, it was a blizzard. What we did,
I already see where this is going.
we created the trench, one side. You know what I mean? We were the rebellion on this side. There was them on the bro. I'm telling you. Yes, Empire, baby. That's how it was, bro.
That's what's up, man. See, that's what I admire about y'all getting snow out there on the East Coast, man. Bro. Out here we get a little bit of rain and earthquakes, man. I can't reenact that in Star Wars, bro.
Well, that's why I'll never live in California, bro.
Earthquakes and rain?
Earthquakes, bro. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, I just doesn't make sense in my head. Yeah, if the ground, motherfucking ceiling collapses on me when I'm sleeping, and like I'm dead.
It ain't that bad. Dude. The movie's like way over exaggerated, dude. I'll sit here and watch a Laker game, man. And all of a sudden, the ground's moving. Like, shit, we having an earthquake, and then it's done. And that was that. It's no big deal, dude. Out here,
I remember
when you're used to it.
I'm in Maryland. Well, I was working at the Pentagon at the time, and I remember, and I guess I could tell this. It was like the ground was shaking, and we were like, "What the hell?" The walls started shaking, and I was like, "Oh my god!" This was 2011, so it wasn't like 10 years removed from 9/11.
I'll be right back. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm like, everybody that worked in the building was like, "We're being attacked. Something's going on. What is going on?" It was the scariest shit ever.
Wow.
Come to find out, it was a damn earthquake here on the East Coast. And we were like,
really?
What the hell? My mom called me. I remember I had my best friend was staying at my house. Speaking of bringing it back to Hot Toys, he was like, "Dude, all your figures," and I had like a small collection back then. I think it was like the Joker, Iron Man, something. He was like, "Dude, all your figures just fell down off the wall." I was like, "Are you serious? We felt it here." He was like, "Dude, this is crazy." My mom was like, "I was in the car, and we were parked, and all the cars started moving by themselves." It was the scariest shit
man.
ever.
Yeah.
So I was like, I never want to experience that again.
No,
I remember when the scariest ones was like 4 a.m. out here, man, and the whole house was like literally shaking, man. Getting out of bed and it lasted for a good while. I think that was like the Northridge earthquake over here up in LA, and just seeing the aftermath of that, I was like, holy shit! I never thought I'd see something like that, in my lifetime. But since then, it really hasn't been as severe. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it can be scary, man. It can definitely be scary.
Yeah. Well, that's enough for me to say no. That's all I'm saying, bro. Like, I mean, granted, I visited,
Disneyland,
right?
Man, come on.
Well, okay,
Disneyland.
One day I'll go, but.
And Universal Studios just opened up the Super Mario World, so we got to go check that out too, man.
Yeah.
If y'all haven't seen that, that looks actually.
Yeah, we did have an echo. Oh, look, what did I tell you? It never fails. Never fails, Mario. What did I tell you?
We were just talking about that before stream. Yep.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I said, he's like, no, you can't see shit. I'm like, people see. People spy, bro. They could see everything. I said, I got a lot of Star Trek fans here. I didn't think
anybody would call it out tonight, man.
I said, it happens every stream, dude. And look, we hit 2 hours, and damn Spawn got
man.
it. Subtle flex. Yes, sir. So Leo's gonna probably return shortly, but we'll probably wrap because we can go, like I said, Ari said earlier, we can talk all night about this stuff, man. But it's been
easy freaking stream, man. We can keep going.
This is a good conversation, and everybody on the replay, shout out, man, for you guys as well, and everybody live too, supporting one another, supporting this channel. I do appreciate it, man. Appreciate the super chats or in the super thanks, dude, from the later times when the guys watch the replays and the channel members, man. Everybody just been awesome. We're all doing what we can here in our love for collecting and trying to be as real as I can, man. And everybody here on this panel, I don't know where Leo is yet. He'll be back, but so we're not going to end it just yet. But this has been good. This has been a great conversation, man. It's put a lot of things in perspective, even for myself.
Yeah,
and I'm sure all of us, maybe everybody in the chat.
Yeah, these are great conversations to have. Like I said earlier, Anthony, I think sometimes it's like therapy for this stuff, because you do keep going, and sometimes you're like, you got anyone to tell you, hey, did you ever look at it this way, or stop, or go,
and I love that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I think it's important to have these. So this was, like you were saying, it's very free flowing. We can go all night with this.
Of course.
It's basically another form of therapy, man. When some of us just get too far with the addiction, we got to check ourselves sometimes, man.
I will say that end, the original question, end in sight. I started it's funny because I started in the 90s with Toy Biz, and I was collecting then. That's when my collecting journey began. And then I remember being an 11, 10-year-old kid, like, oh, this is great. I'm always going to keep these. And then I didn't care about them too more. And then it was Spawn. And then I was like, Spawn, and everything McFarlane made was like, oh, this is the top tier right here. This is where it is. I'm going to keep this forever. And then it was a day where I just opened my trunk, and I had kids and collectors in the neighborhood. And I said, have at it. Take all the stuff you want. He was like, what? Because I was in the Hot Toys. And as I got older and I made adult money, I was like, this is where it is with Hot Toys. This is where my collecting journey ends. And I felt that way for years. Now with InArts, and as I get older, and all these other other companies and stuff out here, and statues, and and all these.
That's all you get. Sorry, Jay.
Oh.
What's going on?
Yeah. With all that stuff, it's just like I don't know, where is it, it's interesting to see where I'm going to go next, how my collection is going to change in the next 10 years. I mean, because space is also an issue too, right? What happens was at some point gonna run out. Like, I'm looking right here, I'm like, damn, I gotta reconfig some stuff because I'm running out of room before this starts looking ridiculous. So
and Jay, you're saying that just collecting statues, bro. I mean, just collecting 6-scale figures. I've got statues now, man.
Yeah,
those boxes trying to store those are bitch, dude. That's why my storage is starting to fill faster, man. And it's not just one box. Sometimes there's two. Sometimes this Daenerys was 3 boxes deep, man. So I got to figure out how to store that too. So I got to hold on to the box because I'm not going to take her like this. I got to break it down, and if I got to move again, I got to repack it. So yeah, man, that's something else to think about too when you guys start, evolving more as a collector, get into bigger stuff like that.
It's crazy.
I agree. Guys, we're gonna wrap. So listen, man. Again,
bro, I gotta get upstairs and hug the girl.
You gotta do what you gotta do. I gotta eat and chill, and it's been fun. And you guys are East Coast, some of us are West Coast. I appreciate everybody's time. What's up, Ben? How you doing, man? But we are out the door. So listen, everybody, if you haven't already, the links are in the description below. Please hit a like on your way out, man. Dislike it if you think we suck. It's cool. It helps the algorithm. Just show support in some way. Subscribe to all my friends, dude. They're right here, right out here. Just push the little show more right there. And
hey, can I say something real quick before we bounce out, bro?
Do it up, brother. Do it up.
I want to give a special shout out to, and because we do this often, but I don't think we do it enough. A special shout out to the chat, because I'm sitting up here and we're having these conversations, and I'm looking at everybody in the chat reflecting on their collections, reflecting on their nostalgia. And this is why we do it, because like I said, see, even some of the stuff that you guys talk about, you know what I mean, inspire us, you know what I mean? So just giving a shout out to you guys out there who keep us going each and every week, like literally, sincerely. Thank you guys.
Yes, 100%, dude. Yeah, I kind of actually, it's funny, I kind of chimed on that when you were away, but it's exactly the same thing. Like, we wouldn't be here without you guys. That's how I look at it anyway, man. It's a continued support and discussions in the community, and it's hard to pull. Like we're dipping, but I'm gonna say that because that's how I felt too. Like if I was out, man, I'd be out, and I'd be out of the community too, and that's what I would miss more than my collection.
Yeah, bro.
So we do appreciate every single one of you guys, ladies and gentlemen out there. And check everybody out, man. We will see you guys in the next one. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. We'll see you guys.